Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome to Practical and Healing Applications of A Course in Miracles with me, Anna Rebecca Quinn, formerly Kujawa. And we're just going to take about 2 minutes just to breathe and get present. It's a Monday, early Monday evening. Let's just practice letting go of our day, being present, remembering the moment, feeling into this present moment, remembering the now, practicing the present, being where we are now, remembering who we are now. And to rest our minds, to allow our minds to rest from all the planning and judging and analyzing. We say, I rest in God. I rest in God. For in God there's nothing to do, nothing that needs to be done, nothing that needs to be found. In God, all questions have been answered. All needs have been fulfilled. All desire has been satisfied. And that's why in God we rest. I rest in God is a blessing for the living, not the dead. I rest in God. Now I need do nothing. I need do nothing, for I am one self, united with my Creator, at one with every aspect of creation, and limitless in power and limitless in peace. I am one self, united with my Creator. I am one with every aspect of creation. As I was created, so do I remain, complete and healed and whole, now and forever. And breathe. Spirit of truth that resides within us, we give you full charge of this session, this class today. We ask that you guide and direct our thoughts. We ask for your answers to our questions. We ask for your loving remedy to our calls for help and healing. We thank you for all the gifts you have given to us, gifts of peace and joy, understanding. We trust your love for us. We trust your genius ideas, plans for us. And we trust your love to guide us further on the path of peace. Thank you for your loving guidance. Thank you for your loving friendship. Thank you for your eternal love for us. We accept. Beautiful. And then just take another deep breath. Breathe in that holy relationship in. And when you're ready, yawn and stretch and open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and your toes. All right. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Beautiful. Doesn't it feel good to listen to the truth and do what it actually says to do? It feels good to listen to the truth and actually do what it says to do. That's what we're like, oh, when I listen to the voice for truth in me, it feels good. I feel better. I'm getting it. It's a miracle. All right. Hi, Bridget. Lovely to see you. And where am I? Nope, that's not it. Greg, will you help me out with this? Somehow, I don't know why it never shows up when I'm looking for it. On my phone. Oh, it is chapter 27 again, and it is section 6 in the blue book, and it is section 7 in the original edition. Hi, Daniel. Lovely to see you. Hola. Oh, the witnesses to sin. Chapter 27, 7 in the original edition, the one you have on your phone, Greg.
And did you figure it out?
No. All right. It's called The Witnesses to Sin.
Or in purple it says Sin's Witnesses. Or 9-7.
Are you in the purple? Are you in the original? Oh, what is the name of it in the purple?
Sin's Witnesses.
Okay, great. I'm going to go to that one. Oh, thanks, honey. Okay. So, yes. So, the original title of this is Sin's Witnesses. Okay? Sin's Witnesses. So what is it that is always going, yeah, that's right, you're guilty. That's right, you should feel ashamed of yourself. That's right, you're pretty bad. That's right, there is something wrong with you. What is it that is doing that? Who and what is saying that to us? Who and what is being that witness to guilt in us? Okay? Something is being like, oh yeah, you are guilty for sure. You were born in sin, as a matter of fact. All right, but we're going to hear about what it is that's witnessing to that false belief within us, what it is, why it says that, and how to disagree, how to say no to it, how to not listen to it, how to not agree with it. Okay, so it says, let me turn down the music a bit. All right, so it says, Pain demonstrates that the body must be real. So when you have pain, it's a witness that, oh yeah, you are a body and your body is real and it's you. Here's the pain to prove it. So pain demonstrates the body must be real. What is pain? Pain is a loud, obscuring voice whose shrieks would silence what the healing spirit says and keep the healing spirit's words from your awareness. Oh, so pain is not an accident. Pain has a purpose, and its purpose is to make sure that you do not hear love's words in your mind, to keep love's words, healing's voice, unheard in your awareness. That is the purpose of pain. Pain is not an accident. That's the first thing. Pain is not an accident. I thought pain was just something that happens when you get older. Or pain is just something you experience when you get in a relationship. You know, I just thought just pain is isn't pain natural?
Or when you stub your foot into a
Or when you stub your foot, you stub your toe, you know. Or when you have just tight shoes on. So pain is a loud, obscuring voice whose shrieks would silence what the loving spirit says, which means to keep love's words from your awareness. That's what pain is for. It's not an accident. It's not natural. Whew. That's hard to believe, huh? Then it says something else that is completely hard to believe, but actually this one is easy to believe. Pain compels attention, doesn't it? It's like, okay, you got my attention. Pain compels when you're in pain, that's all you can pay attention to, right? That's all you can think about when you're in pain. Pain compels your attention. And what pain does is it draws your attention away from love, from truth, and focuses attention upon itself. That's what pain does. Stop thinking about truth and focus on this pain. Isn't that right? Isn't that what pain does? It's hard to pay attention to the truth when you're in pain. Okay. I had some pain. My ego was trying to draw my attention away from the loving thoughts of my spirit, from my mind, before class. For sure. Of course, right before class, my ego always pulls up some kind of pain, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, spiritual pain, psychic pain. Always before class, it pulls up some form of pain so that it will draw my attention away from listening to the voice of truth. It's consistent. I've been teaching for 38 years, and it's consistent, very consistent. It says, pain's purpose is the same as pleasure's purpose. Why? Because pain and pleasure both are means to make the body real. Okay, so it just says something that's very hard to believe. Pain and pleasure have the same purpose. Wow. And what is that? To draw your attention to the body, to make the body real. So they both are trying to get you to believe that your body is real. Okay, that's who you are. That's what's really going on. You are a body. How do you know? Because of the pain and the pleasure. Okay, that's how you know. Okay, you feel when your body gets hurt or it gets pleasured, and you feel that pain or your pleasure, that the fact that you feel that means you're a body. That's the purpose of the pain and the pleasure. The ego just wants you to believe you're a body. The ego does not want you to accept the fact that you are not a body. You are a spirit who cannot be limited by the body, who does not die when the body dies. Your ego wants you 100% to believe that you are just a body that can get hurt, that can die. That's the ego's purpose. And the ego is in an unholy alliance with your body to prove to you, to try to prove to you that you're just a body that can be hurt and that can die. So that's your ego's goal, okay? Good to know. And why is it that pain and pleasure are the same? It's because what shares a common purpose is the same. So if pain and pleasure share a common purpose, that means they are the same. That's the law of purpose. Whatever shares a common purpose is the same. This is the law of purpose. The law of purpose, which unites all those who share in that purpose within itself. All right, that's the law of purpose. Whoever shares this purpose are the same. Whatever shares a purpose is the same. Okay? Because whatever something's purpose is what that thing is. And so, pleasure and pain are equally unreal. Why? Because pleasure and pain's purpose cannot be achieved. You cannot be a body. You cannot be a body. You just can't, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much pleasure that the ego gives you, no matter how pain the ego gives you, no matter how much pain or pleasure you experience, you will never, ever, ever, no way, no how be a body. You'll never be your body, ever. And someday we're going to go like, thank God. Thank God. What a drag to be in a meat suit prison. You know, like I have to feel whatever it feels. I have to. How high maintenance is the body, by the way?
A lot.
Is it more than a full-time job?
It increases with age.
And the maintenance increases with age. I mean, it's like, how do I even have time to have another job, having a body that requires all the maintenance, and more so as I age, as my body ages. See how, notice I said as I age? See how deeply that connection, that association is between me and my body? Of course, in Miracle says that one of the main purposes of this curriculum is to separate the two in my conception of myself, to stop thinking of myself as a body. You know, when you know, it's like when I'm driving the car and somebody hits my car, I go, somebody hit me. They did. Where's the bruise? No, my car. Oh, I see. You mean they hit your car? Right. Yeah, they hit me. Oh, I see. You're your car. Same thing with our body. You know, I got hurt. I had an accident. I got sick. You know, in truth, what we should be saying toward this goal of realizing and accepting that we're not a body is we should say, my body has a cold right now. My body's experiencing pain right now because my ego wants to draw my attention away from listening to love's voice. You know, that's what, if we really, you know, and that's what A Course in Miracles is teaching us to do, you know, is to stop associating ourselves with our body. You know, if you are your body, then God is cruel. God is mean. God is a psychopath. That's what we believe. We believe that God is a mean, cruel psychopath who created his creations in a meat suit prison that can get hurt and does hurt a lot and then dies. Okay, does that sound nice? Does that sound friendly? Course in Miracles says, if you are a body, if God made you a body, then God is cruel. That means God is the author of death. So it truly, logic would have to tell you, if you're really using logic and reason, that God didn't make the body and the body can't be who you are. The body can't be who it is that God created. God couldn't create the body. Or else God is the author of pain and death and limitation. All right, so beautiful. So it says, so pleasure and pain are equally unreal. Why? Because pain and pleasure's purpose cannot be achieved. Thus, our pain and pleasure means for nothing, because pain and pleasure have a goal without meaning. And so pain and pleasure share the lack of meaning that their purpose has. This is a welcome message when you're in pain, but, you know, but when you're experiencing pleasure, you're like, That's so negative. That's so negative. You don't, when you're experiencing pleasure with some illusion, you know, you don't like to hear that pleasure isn't real. But is any pleasure lasting? Is any physical pleasure lasting? Okay. Course in Miracles defines real as lasting. So, you know, to say the body isn't real is to say it's not lasting. You know, and if it's not lasting, that means it wasn't created by a God who is everlasting. So, you know, so pleasure, you know, because it doesn't last, that's how you know it isn't real. So just enjoy it knowing it's not real, which means knowing it will not last. And if you can enjoy pleasure knowing it doesn't last, then you can enjoy it while it lasts. And like you're, you know, licking an ice cream cone, you know, you don't lose any pleasure licking an ice cream cone just because you know it's not going to last. You're going to enjoy every last lick of that ice cream cone, you know, even knowing that it's not going to last forever. You don't, like when the ice cream melts, you don't throw a tantrum, you know, unless you're 5, of course. Sometimes it seems like we are. That's what we do. When pleasure ends, we're like, my pleasure ended. Like, you did, duh, that's what pleasure does. All right. So, now paragraph 2. It says, and I'm reading from the original edition, so if you guys see any differences in the blue covered edition, just let me know. Sin shifts from pain to pleasure and again to pain. All right, now we're hearing what's behind pleasure and pain. What is behind pleasure and pain? Well, the belief in sin, the belief in guilt. So sin shifts from pain to pleasure and again to pain, because either witness, pain or pleasure, is the same and carries but one message. Pain and sin that takes the form of pain or pleasure carries one message, and it is this: you are here within the body and you can be hurt, and also you can die. Okay, that is the one message of sin, whatever form it happens to be currently taking. The belief in sin takes the form of pain to pleasure, and then back to pain and back to pleasure again. Wow. So the belief in sin is a chameleon, and it wears the disguise of pain, and then when you're like, I don't want any pain anymore, I'm going to give up ego, then it switches to pleasure. You're like, oh, okay, I'll take the belief in sin, that's fine. Okay. But then you get upset when the pleasure ends. So isn't that interesting? So the belief in sin is a chameleon. The belief in sin doesn't just come out and go, you're in a body and you can be hurt and you're going to die. You know, because we'd go like, well, that's not, I don't want to believe that. Why would I listen to you? Right? So it puts on a mask. It puts on a mask to deceive you. And it's like, I'm pain, you can be hurt. And then pleasure, ooh, look, you know, you're a body. The message that the belief in sin is giving to you through pain and pleasure both is you are in a body and you can be hurt and you can die. Isn't that deep?
You will die.
You're gonna die. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Your body, that's right. That's what the ego is a belief, and the ego is a belief in sin. That's what the ego is. It's a belief that you can do something that's so wretched that even God, who created you and supposedly loves you, could abandon you and send you to hell. You know, that's what sin is. It's the belief that you are that bad, that even God cannot save you.
It also seems to suggest that sin, seems to imply here that sin is the belief that I'm a body.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And only if you were guilty, only if you were sinful, could you be stuck in a body. You know, only if you were guilty. So the belief that the body is real and the belief that sin is real, they absolutely go together. Okay, the ego's like, you are guilty, you are sinful, and what you experience in your body, that's the proof. The fact that you can be hurt and you can die, that's the proof that you're guilty.
And I can say that when I'm identified with the body, the idea that pleasure and pain are the same is something I actively resist.
Absolutely. When I'm identifying with my body, the idea that pain and pleasure are the same is we have a lot of resistance to. We resist that. That's exactly right. Yeah, we don't want to believe that pain and pleasure are the same, you know, because why? Because most of our activity is in seeking out pleasure and avoiding pain. That's what I do all day long. All day long. Where can I get some more pleasure? Ooh, I love doing that. I'm going to go get some pleasure here. Ooh, and then I've got to avoid pain here, you know, and that's what we do all day long. And so the idea that pain and pleasure are the same, it's just me avoiding the truth that really makes me happy. You know, there's pain and pleasure, which are the same, and then there's happiness that has nothing to do with pain or pleasure.
And in this world's concept, at least for the majority, you have to go out and work. A lot of people are doing things they don't want to, or doing physical, you know, labor.
Painful labor.
Painful work. In order to
Get the
cruise,
pleasures, yes.
to do all the pleasures.
That's
that
right.
Buy the car.
Exactly.
And now they got to work more pain to pay for the pleasure of the car.
Exactly. Thank you. That's a great note. That in the world, it's like we work doing something we don't love, pain, in order to earn the coins of suffering that to get to buy the pleasure.
But notice the common character in both sides of the story. Who's getting the pleasure and who's getting the pain? The body,
exactly. Who's getting the pain and who's getting the pleasure in both those stories? The body. It's all for the body.
That we're a body, and that's why we're following this stupid monkey.
Yes.
Liking it, but feeding it, figuring out how to get it transported.
Oh, it's the most high maintenance relationship we have. The body is the most high maintenance relationship that we've ever had. That's exactly right. And so when you identify yourself with the body, then you will believe that that is what you need to get more pleasure and to avoid the pain, or to give yourself more pain in order to afford more pleasure.
You don't mean to make it more confusing?
Oh, please. Please make the Course in Miracles more confusing.
Okay.
I dare you.
This illusion is kind of dense, but it's our bodies. It's a miracle. It is a miracle the way it works. The way our organs are just in symphony with each other. It is just gobsmacking.
Well, you know,
I mean, it is a beautiful thing, but at the same time, I'm, now learning. Okay,
well, the ego is, the ego, because the ego was created by our mind, which was created by the mind of God, then there is no limits on our own creative ability. So to create a body, and to create a body that endures, is, an extremely creative thing. Our mind is that powerful and that creative where we can make a body. The reason we know it's not of God is because the body can die. You know, you go out in nature. I love nature. I love the mountains. I love the trees. I love it. But if I am outside past dark in the wintertime, I'm going to die. You know, I'll die of exposure. Nature, gorgeous, amazing, beautiful, but it will kill you if you know, are out in it without protection.
Or the animals in it.
Or the animals in it, or the bugs. I mean, literally, here's the most beautiful nature you ever saw. It's so inspiring, but there's bugs in there that will kill you. The wild animals will kill you. If a tree falls on you, it's going to kill you. If you're out too exposed, you know, to the cold, you're going to die. So, you know, so our minds, because our minds were created by an unlimited mind, we have a creative ability that we don't realize. We don't realize how powerful our minds are. We don't understand how powerful our creativity really is. We don't have any clue. Like to create a whole world like this, to imagine a whole world like this, is nothing to a mind that was created by an unlimited mind.
And to follow up on that, there's a line in the Course, I can't remember where it is, but I love this. Looking out on the world or looking at the body, behold the grand illusion.
Yes, that's right. Behold the grand illusion. Exactly. And it is a hallucination. The world and a body is like it's like when you take a VR set, a virtual reality set, and you put it on. Has you ever put on a virtual reality set? And now you are immersed in this world, and that is all that seems real. Same thing with a dream. When you go to bed and you sleep and you have a dream, when you're dreaming, you don't think this is a weird dream. You know, you absolutely 100% believe that what you're dreaming when you're asleep is absolutely real. And if anybody in that dream told you that it was a dream, you would say they were crazy. And then you wake up. And what happens to that dream world when you wake up? Poof. And you go, whoa, that seemed real. Virtual reality seems very real. This is virtual reality, which means this is artificial reality. It's not reality. It's a hallucination. It's a state of dreaming that seems to be, you know, reality. But in reality, you could not be hurt or die. Because God is the author of reality, and God is only love. And so God would not create a world or a reality in which his beloved children could be hurt or die.
There's so many, you know, religious texts, writings, scriptures that say over and over throughout them, you are spirit. Mm-hmm. Reminding people, you know, from the ancient writers of history and religion, you are spirit. Reminding people it's the same message. In other words, you're not a body.
You're not a body.
You convinced yourself you are. Mm-hmm. And that's how you're able to experience pain.
That's right, exactly.
That's how you're able to punish yourself because you think that you've done something wrong and you deserve punishment.
Yeah.
So you need a vehicle in which to punish you because God created you that you're invulnerable. You can't be punished.
You can't be hurt.
You're God's source. You're God's light. Who can punish God? Mm-hmm. And so then who can punish that which is the essence that came from God?
Exactly.
And yeah, just give up the idea of I'm not a body, but I'm looking forward to the day that I can do that. Me too.
And the Course in Miracles was the first spiritual path that I even heard say, you're not a body. It was the first thing that I heard say, you are not a body, you know. And maybe I just hadn't looked around enough, but that is one of the central teachings of A Course in Miracles. The the phrase, I am not a body, occurs more frequently in the Course in Miracles than any other phrase. I mean, I am not a body, I am free is like 2 times in a workbook lesson. Twice it's a workbook lesson. So, and any pleasure that doesn't last is just a temporarily pleasurable form of pain or guilt. So pain is a form of guilt, and pleasure that doesn't last is another form of guilt. It's another form in which the ego is trying to tell us and teach us that you are a body, you can be hurt, and you're gonna die. Okay? All right. So now it's good to know so that we don't get deceived and sidetracked. Because remember, what's the purpose of pain and pleasure? It's to draw our attention away from the voice for love and truth in our mind that's always wanting to talk to us. Okay, so now if that is the purpose of the pain and the pleasure, then if we don't want anymore to be the victim of pleasure that passes or the prisoner of pain, then the way to free yourself from both is to question the purpose and to go, oh, the purpose of this pain or this pleasure that doesn't last is to keep me from listening to the voice for truth in my mind. Okay, well then I'm going to decide to listen to the voice for truth in my mind. And then what happens to the pain and pleasure whose purpose was to make sure I didn't do that? Okay, it goes away. So when I go, oh, the purpose of this is so that I don't hear the truth, so I don't listen to the truth, then I'm going to listen to the truth, which is the opposite of the pain and the passing pleasure. And so truth, listening to the truth, listening to the truth, listening to the voice of love and truth within you is the way to end the pain and the pleasure that passes. It's the way to end the addiction to passing pleasures. What is it we tend to be addicted to? Passing pleasures. Something that gives us a little pleasure for a minute and then it's gone. And then now we got to do it more. Now I got to do it again because that pleasure leaves so soon. And the more I do it, the more I seek for that passing pleasure, the shorter the shorter that pleasure is. You know, talking about the nature of addictions. The more you do something, the more habitually you do it, the less pleasure you get from it. And so if I don't want to be a slave to the passing pleasures, I don't want that addiction, I don't want that compulsion and obsession, then I have to go for the thing that it is trying to get me to not hear. Okay, so that's why the Course in Miracles says, I'm in need of nothing but the truth. I'm not in need of more pleasures that pass. I'm not in need of pain. I'm in need of the truth, because the truth frees me from my compulsion and obsession for passing pleasures that really cost me in the end, and it also frees me from pain. Okay? All right. Good to know if you're in pain. And who doesn't experience pain in their body? You know, who? Anybody?
Or mind.
Yes, or mind. Who doesn't experience pain in their mind? Or hearts? Who has no pain in their heart? Metaphorical or physical. So, all right. So we're still in paragraph 2. We just finished sentence 2. And so I'll just start back. It says, sin, paragraph 2, sin shifts from pain to pleasure and again to pain. because either witness, pain, or pleasure is the same and carries only one message, which is you are here within this body and you can be hurt and you can die. And then the ego also says, pain and pleasure both also carry the message, you can have pleasure too, but only at the cost of pain. So within a body, you can have pleasure, but only at the cost of pain, just like Greg was talking about. You can have some pleasure, but only after you've worked for, the whole year to earn enough money to go on vacation for 6 days, right? So you can have pleasure, but only at the cost of pain. Or you can have this pleasure, but you're going to pay for it tomorrow. You can have the pleasure of this drink tonight, but you're going to have pain tomorrow, right? So, so that is the message that both pain and pleasure carry in their disguise, okay? Now, these witnesses, pain and pleasure, they are joined by many more witnesses. Each witness to guilt seems different because each witness has a different name, and so each witness to guilt and death seems to answer to a different sound.
Help me with that word witness. Is that all the different temptations?
No, it's saying that these witnesses, pain and pleasure, are joined by many more witnesses.
I don't get it.
Pain and pleasure are a witness. So that's what it's saying here. Pain and pleasure are a witness.
Think of it this way. Forget the word sin for a moment and say, pleasure and pain are a witness to my belief I'm a body.
Okay.
Okay.
And when it says there's many more witnesses,
To,
other things than pain and pleasure?
yes.
Like what?
Meaning there are many other forms in which the ego is trying to give you the message that you are a body and you can be hurt and die. So the ego is not only using pain and pleasure to teach you that you're a body and you can be hurt and die. It's also using other witnesses to prove to you.
For example, you're sitting there, I'm sitting here. You see yourself as a body that's separate from me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
That's another witness. I'm
Right.
self-witnessing that I am
Right.
separate from all y'all.
Okay.
Yes. So pain and pleasure are two witnesses to the belief that you're a body, you can be hurt, and you're going to die. And there are many other witnesses as well, of course. And each witness to the belief that you're a body and you can be hurt and die go by different names. So you got pain name, you got the name of pleasure, maybe you have the name of depression, maybe you have the name of war, maybe you have the name of depression, maybe you have the name of whatever. So there's lots of different names that we give to the witnesses, to the lie that you're a body, you can be hurt, and you can die. Okay? So many witnesses. It says, except for this, the witnesses of sin are all alike. So in other words, except for their different names, the witnesses to the belief in sin are all alike. Okay, so they're all alike. And I mean, if you call pleasure pain, then that pleasure will hurt. If you call pain a pleasure, then the pain behind the pleasure will be felt no more. They are all alike. Some people, to you, some people like that pain. Oh, I like that pain. That's a pleasure, right? So pain and pleasure, all the witnesses to the belief that you're a body and you can be hurt and die and that you're guilty, they're all alike. How do you know? Because if you call pleasure pain, it will hurt. If you call pain a pleasure, then the pain behind the pleasure will be felt no more.
Because they're all connected to the body.
Exactly, and they all have the same
Every
purpose.
pain,
That's right.
cancer, you stubbed your toe,
Or your pleasures.
or emotional trauma, every pain happened to the body.
Exactly.
As the Course says, the body's the main character.
It's exactly.
in our TV show we're watching.
That's right. That's right. The body is the hero of this dream. Okay? This dream, this is a dream. This is what the Course in Miracles is teaching us. This is a dream that we're having while we're asleep at home, asleep in God. We're in some really cozy, sweet, beautiful, wonderful bed in some beautiful, safe place where we're totally loved and adored and taken care of, no needs, no wants. And we're there in that place, which you could call God, heaven, real world, sleeping, dreaming that we are a separate body that can be hurt, and that will die. That's what's really going on. And the purpose of us as teachers and healers and miracle workers, people who want to be helpful, our purpose is the awareness of dreaming. It's like our purpose as teachers and healers is to be doing lucid dreaming. You know how some people train their minds to do lucid dreaming? That's what we are doing. We're being trained by our teacher, our curriculum, Course in Miracles, to do lucid dreaming, where be aware that you're dreaming. So, being like, oh, look, I'm experiencing pain. Oh, I'm experiencing this pleasure that won't last, that I'll be paying for in coins of suffering. Oh, well, that's what happens in a dream. That's because I'm dreaming. Oh, I'm having a terrible day. Oh, well, that's because I'm dreaming. I'm really hurting right now. Oh, I guess I must be dreaming. So one of the prayers that I do sometimes when I'm suffering is I say, Spirit, I am dreaming. Please wake me. So that's me practicing awareness of dreaming. And pain and pleasure is a witness to the fact that you are dreaming a dream that isn't real. Just like the dreams you have at night when you're in bed are not real. It's just happening in your imagination, in your mind, while you're safe in your bed sleeping. But pain, and the purpose of pain and pleasure is for you to forget that you're dreaming and to think, man, I am just this vulnerable, lonely body. And I must just be so guilty. I must be so guilty to be having the kind of life I'm having right now. Right? That's the purpose of pain and pleasures that don't last. Pleasures that cost you more suffering. Wow. Okay. So next time you are experiencing some pain or the sadness that this pleasure is not lasting or that it ended, to remember, oh, that means I'm dreaming. Oh, I'm dreaming. Okay, thank God this, and then thank God it's a dream. Go, thank you, God, that this is, I'm so grateful that this is just a dream. I'm so glad. Celebrate it. Affirm it. Be grateful for it. Because every time you remind yourself, every time you practice lucid dreaming and you go, oh, I must be dreaming because I got all the symptoms of dreaming, then you're waking up a little bit more. You're taking another step toward the time when you wake up from the dream forever. Okay? You're one moment closer to that. You're one moment closer to going, oh, wow. Oh, what a crazy dream. And the Course in Miracles says that's how it happens. You wake up from the dream and you go, ooh, you have a moment to shake it off, and then you move forward in creation, in the real world, where you're not asleep and dreaming that you are what you're not, which is a body that can be hurt and dies. Thank God this is a dream. So instead of lamenting how terrible and horrible and sad and painful and expensive the dream is, yeah, that's what I do. I lament how expensive it is to, it's a dream if it's expensive to live, okay? Because God If God is love, God's not going to create a world where it's expensive to live. And where more and more people can't even afford to live. Some people are dying just because it's saving them money. I'm too poor to live.
I just realized I could save myself
Some money.
$1,000 a year if I just
Died.
That's a bargain.
What a deal. I have no more bills and I'm free. Heck yeah, man.
And who's gonna?
Oh, I just got cancer.
Who's gonna complain about it?
I never turned down a good deal, but.
But you don't have to sign on the dotted line tonight, Janice. Don't worry about it.
Let me ask, okay, I don't know about you guys, but I have been in jobs that I loathed.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't, well, let's just take age. You know, the last job I had got a new CEO. She ditched the purpose of the thing being there. So instead of nonprofit, she changed it to profit. I mean, people were leaving in tsunamis.
We've all had jobs we hate.
Yeah. So okay. So now here I am at the, you know, not this age, but old. Desperately want to get out. I hate everything that's happening. And okay, so if I were in Course in Miracles at that point, and so okay, I'm in this god-awful dream. Physically, what would I do? Just meditate more, ask for guidance? I mean...
Exactly everything that I've been saying up until that question is exactly what this is telling us to do if you find yourself in a job that you hate. You know, so it's remembering first and foremost that it is a dream. That only in a dream that's not true would you have to work at a job you hate to, quote, live, you know, to afford to live. So the first thing you do is you tell yourself the truth about the fact that you are dreaming. So that's the first thing you do. And that's a big improvement right there. Because now what's happening is coming from your mind instead of something that's happening to you, that's being forced upon you. I'm forced to work this job I hate so I can afford to live. Okay, so the first step that you did, now what you're experiencing is coming from your mind, which it is. So that's the first big important step. There's improvement. And then remember what the dream of pain and passing pleasure's purpose is, which is that you stay awake to your truth, to your spiritual truth. That's its purpose. The purpose of this dream where you have to do something you hate to afford to live, the purpose of that dream is that you forget who and what you are. So first you remember it's your dream, then you go listen to the truth of who you are. And maybe you find it in the Course. Maybe you find it through meditation within your own mind in communication with your higher self. But the purpose of the dream is to make you forget who you are. And so if that's its purpose, every time you go to seek and to listen to practice accepting the truth of what you are as a spirit, deathless, timeless, cannot be hurt, cannot be killed, cannot be abandoned, cannot die, cannot lack for anything. The more that you listen to the truth about yourself, then the less power than the dream has over you. The more you wake up to the truth of who you are, the less power the dream has over you, the less frightening it is, the less heavy it is, the less serious it is, the less, oppressive it is. Okay, all right. Well, that's a great question. I love it. I love the practical. It's like, I hear what you're saying, but what about if I'm in a job I hate? Because so that I can, quote, afford to live. Okay, first of all, in reality, you're not going to have to do something you hate in order to afford to live. Only if you are a body and the body is real. Only that is it. And the dream is it's a body dream. The body is the hero of this dream. It's a body dream. It's the body dream. In the Course in Miracles, wherever it says the world, you could also put in the word the body. Because the world dream, as we're dreaming it, is all about the body. It's all about the body. This dream is all about the body. This is the dream that you dream when you believe that you are a body. And then when you don't believe that you're a body, you have a totally different experience. And you certainly aren't going to be living in life where you have to earn your right to live by doing something you hate. That was how I knew that this place could not have been created by God. I was just like, no, if God is love, this cannot be of God. That cannot be reality. It's got to be a dream, a body dream. And every body dream is a nightmare. Because the body's vulnerable and the body dies. And the body needs, it's always needing something. Today my body needed some new shoes. All right. Okay. So now we're in paragraph 3. I love it. Jerry says, that's why when you look at something you can't afford, they say you're dreaming. Very good, Jerry. That's funny. When you look at something you can't afford, they say you're dreaming. That's right. There they say, keep dreaming. That's right. That's funny, Jerry. Thank you.
Once I got going on the course, a big saying now is living the dream.
Oh yeah, I'm living the dream. That's right. You sure are.
You don't know, you truly are.
Yeah, you truly are living the dream.
Well, I've started asking, well, is it a happy dream?
Exactly. Now, the Course in Miracles then talks about the happy dream. So it says that you don't go from the dream where you have to earn your right to live by doing something you hate. You don't go from that nightmare dream to reality, because the Course says it would be too shocking. And so you go from this nightmare dream where you have to earn your right to live by doing something you hate, where you can be hurt and die at any moment. You go to a happy dream. So you still have a body, you're still dreaming that you're a body, and you're still dreaming that you're in the world of bodies, but it's happy. You love what you do. You feel joy, you feel happiness, you feel safe, you feel loved because you know who you are. So in the interim between the hell nightmare dream and reality, you have the happy dream where you're like, I know I'm dreaming, and I know I'm not a body. I know because it's not logical. And I know that I can't die, and I'm not separate, and I know that God has created me having everything. God did not create me with needs. And you're you're still in a body, but you're enjoying yourself. You're not suffering. You're not trying to avoid pain and chase pleasures that pass. You're not having a nightmare anymore, And, so that's what the Course in Miracles calls the happy dream or the real world. Okay. And so I love, and as you read these ideas and practice these ideas, and you practice them, that's what they're for, by the way. Practicing, using them, as you use them, as you practice them, your life becomes more and more and more of a happy dream. Where you're still in a body, but you're really enjoying yourself. Can you imagine, having a body, being in the world, but you're having a great time. And the Course in Miracles says that now you've achieved a state of mind where the translation and the transition to reality is gentle. It's like oh yes, of course. Okay. So that's the good news of what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm telling you about how the ego world is, but remember that there's also the real world that is available for us to experience. And the more you study this and use it, the more your life becomes the happy dream, the real world. And I'm a witness to that.
Which means in parallel, I'm switching my listening to less and less of the ego and more of the Holy Spirit.
Thank you. I'm listening less and less to the witnesses that pain and passing pleasures give me. And I'm listening more to the voice for love in my mind. Thank you. That's what that means. That's how you get there. That's your ticket to the real world. You know, when pain and passing pleasures start telling you that you don't have enough and you're not good enough and you're going to die, and notice how much your pain is increasing, instead of going, oh, I know, it's terrible. You're going to be like, I think I'm going to go do my workbook lesson. I think I'm going to go to Anna's class or something. I'm going to go to a course class, I think I'm going to go listen to the course and take a bath or something, So that's how you move from the ego dream, the body dream, to the real world. Okay? All right. So, we're in paragraph 2, and yes, it says, so paragraph 2, the last sentence, actually sentence 9, sin's witnesses, pain or pleasure, they just shift from name to name. As one witness to sin steps forward, then another witness to sin steps back. Hey, Jerry, you got to turn down your phone. Turn down your phone. All right. That was weird. You walking in with my class playing on your phone. Of course, that could happen in a dream. So sin's witnesses, pain and pleasure, they just shift from name to name. As one witness to you're a body and you're going to die steps forward, then another witness to that steps back. Yet which witness is foremost makes no difference. Why? Because sin's witnesses hear only the call of death. So it doesn't matter which witness to sin or the ego that you're hearing. They're both saying the same thing. You're gonna die. You're a body and you're gonna die. So it doesn't matter. And notice how sin changes forms. Sin goes from one form to another form to another form to another form, but no matter what form it takes, it's always telling you one thing: you're a body, you can be hurt, and you're gonna die. Okay? All right. So paragraph 3, the body, purposeless within itself, holds all your memories and all your hopes. So the body is a memory vault. Okay? It's a memory vault. You ever seen like a memory box? I put little things I want to remember, a keepsakes box. That's what a body is. It's a memory vault. You use your body's eyes to see, you use your body's ears to hear, and you let your body tell you what it is that it feels. But the body does not know how you feel. So when the body gives you pain, it's telling you you can be hurt. The body doesn't know how you feel. So the body can't tell you how you feel. The body can only tell you what it's feeling. The body doesn't know what you feel. The body tells you only the names you gave to the body to use when you call forth the witnesses to the body's reality. You cannot choose among the witnesses to the body's reality. You cannot choose among them which one of these witnesses to the body are real. And any witness you choose to the body's reality is just like any of the rest of the witnesses to the body's reality. This name or that name of a witness to the body's reality, but nothing more you are choosing. This name or that, but nothing more you're choosing. You do not make a witness true just because you call that witness by truth's name. The truth is found in this body witness if it is the truth this witness represents. And if this witness doesn't represent the truth, then this witness lies, even if you should call this witness by the holy name of God himself. So the witnesses to the idea that the body's real and the body is you and you can be hurt and die, he says that, you know, this witness lies, even if you're calling this witness, you know, you're saying it's the voice for God itself. So anything that is affirming that you are a body, you can be hurt and you can die, is a witness that lies. You know, any witness, anything you're experiencing that is telling you that you're a body is just telling, it's telling you how you feel. The body's like, hey, listen, you feel pain. You feel cold. You feel heat. You feel pleasure. You feel sick today. I just want you to know. I'm your body, and I just want you to know you feel sick today, Matt. Okay, it's like, who are you to tell me how I feel? What are you telling me how I feel? Stop trying to tell me how I feel. But if you're identifying with your body, when the ego says, you feel sick today, you feel pain today, you feel heartache today, you know, we go, oh yeah, I feel sick today. I feel pain today. I'm hurting today. You know, in other words, we totally believe the ego. The ego tells us how we feel, and we just take its word for it. How does my ego know? How does my body know how I feel? Isn't that deep? Your ego, your body can't tell you how you feel. And notice how when the body hurts, we go, I'm hurting today. That was your body just telling you what you feel. And that's why you go, I'm hurting today. Wow, that's deep. Maybe next time I'm feeling that back pain, I'm going to be like, ego, you don't know how I feel. You are not telling me how I feel. You're telling me how you feel. You know, you are in pain because you are an idea of pain, because you're an idea of guilt. You know, the idea of guilt. And the pain comes from guilt. That's what A Course in Miracles teaches us. Pain, it certainly doesn't come from love. Doesn't come from God. Pain is one of the many disguises that the belief in sin takes. That's just what it is. Pain is a disguise that the belief that you're guilty takes. Pleasures that pass is just another disguise that the belief that you're guilty takes. Wow. And so what I want to do if I want to end pain is I want to practice accepting the fact that I'm not guilty. The ultimate pain reliever is the acceptance of the fact that you're not guilty, that you're not a sinner, you're not guilty. You weren't born in sin. You're not guilty, no matter what mistakes you've made. Or my fear that this pleasure will end, or my addiction to chasing pleasures that pass. That is just one of the many disguises that my belief that I am a body and that I'm guilty takes. And so in order to heal myself of that addiction to passing pleasures, then I want to go to the truth and let myself listen to the truth, that reminds me that I'm not guilty. I'm not sinful. That whole you were born in sin thing was a big hoax. We were brainwashed. It was never true. Sin was never true. It was never true. Sin. You know, and no matter what mistakes we've made, we're not guilty. We can't be guilty because we weren't created as guilty. We weren't created as sinful because God is not sin. And so it's a lie. It's just a lie.
And again, you have to have a body to have the sin.
That's exactly right.
Because the body is the witness that you did something.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Without the body, the idea of sin is nowhere. You know, sin is only, the body is the witness to sin because the body dies. The body changes.
And it does bad things.
Then the body does bad things, exactly. And so the idea of, the Course says that the body came from the belief in sin, which is also the same thing as the belief in separation, that we're separate from God and separate from each other. You know, so the answer to all pain and the answer to the addiction and compulsion for pleasures that are passing is the acceptance of the fact, the truth, that you are not guilty. You are not a sinner. There is no sin. Isn't that interesting that that's the answer? We're like, oh man, when I have pain, I've been taking ibuprofen. Well, you should be taking your workbook lesson if you really want to get rid of that headache or whatever it is. Only the truth cures what suffer. Only the truth. Was it the workbook lesson? Only the truth can be said to cure. Only the truth that you are not guilty, that you are not a body that can be hurt and die. Only that can be said to cure. Only the truth can be said to cure. So, whew, wow. You know, I often exclaim when I'm studying, I'm like, being a Course in Miracles teacher, I've realized that truth heals, that I'm a truth healer. I'm a healer who heals with truth because I've learned that only truth heals. You know, doing a new exercise regimen, changing your diet, taking medicine, taking this, taking that, doing something for the body does not heal. If it did, we'd all be freaking healed, you know, because we've all had aches and pains and suffering, and we've all tried to heal it we've all tried to heal it with something of the body. Here's a pill. You know, here's a body to be in a relationship with. You know, here's a new job. Here's a whatever. We've all tried to heal our pain and suffering from something for the body. And it doesn't work. You know, even if it does seem to work that time for that particular pain symptom, the next day you got another pain symptom. And then now the pain, now you have a different pain. Now you have a different sickness. It's like, oh, I was healed of cancer, but now I have a broken leg. You know, only truth cures all pain. What truth? The truth that you are not a body, and you are spirit, and you are not guilty, and you are a spirit that cannot be hurt and that cannot die. Only that truth. And so let us, you know, and the Course in Miracles also talks about, but until you have accepted this for real, then you do the compromise approach. And this is what the Course in Miracles says. So until you have accepted fully that only the truth can heal me, then I go listen to the truth that I'm innocent and I'm not my body, and I take my ibuprofen or I take my herbs. So, because readiness to accept the truth that you are not guilty is not mastery of accepting that. And so until you have mastered, which means until you have fully accepted the truth that you are not guilty and you are not your body, then you need to do a compromise approach. You need to take your herbs or take that chemotherapy or do whatever it is you need to do that you think will heal your symptom, your physical symptom. So just hear that the Course is not saying stop taking your medicine. It's saying remember the truth that really does cure and take the medicine that you've come to believe works, which means the medicine you have learned to give power.
And that power is, I've given that medicine the power. I don't necessarily cognize this, but what I'm really doing with this approach, approach that you're talking about, is that I'm giving myself permission to release whatever guilt is actually causing this illness by association with this medication, procedure, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm willing to believe that I can be, quote, healed, in this case the body, that I as a body can be healed. But what I'm really doing, if real healing is happening, is that I'm using that as the means to allow myself to release the underlying guilt and sin that's causing
It's very good. Exactly. And so I like what you're saying, so when we're having suffering of some kind, pain, body, mind, or spirit, what we want to ask ourselves is, what is it that I'm feeling guilty about? What is it that I am feeling guilty about, that the guilt, which is unconsciously convincing me that I deserve to suffer? And if I can't place like, oh yeah, I'm feeling really guilty about what I said or what I did, blah, 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 because sometimes I can't picture it. I don't have to figure out what specifically I'm feeling guilty about, because that is not what I'm really feeling guilty about. What I'm really feeling guilty about is that I learned that I'm guilty, way back when. I don't even remember when, I learned. That's what I'm really feeling guilty about. I'm not feeling guilty because of what my body did. I'm feeling guilty because I learned I was guilty. I learned I was sinful. Hell, I learned that I was born in sin. Dang. Is that child abuse or what? I mean, just saying. The belief that we are born in sin and the baby is born in sin, that is, talk about hell. It's like, welcome to the world, baby. You're guilty. And you know what people who are guilty deserve, right? A lot of punishment. Here's a lollipop. So, so we go for we go for the true cause of the sickness, which is the belief in sin. But we also do the compromise approach, and we go do the medicine that we have given healing power to. That ibuprofen works truly, ultimately, because I gave it power to heal my headache. That's what A Course in Miracles tells us, And so if you've given ibuprofen the power to heal a headache, then take that ibuprofen and practice going for the real cause of suffering, which is the belief in sin and guilt that we all learned. Wow. I love that reminder. I'm not feeling guilty. I'm not feeling guilty in this situation because of what my body said or did. I'm feeling guilty because I learned that I was guilty a long time ago.
And even beyond that, it's because I believe I separated myself from God. And
Right.
I feel very guilty about that.
That's right.
Although that is buried much, much deeper in my
Right.
forgetting.
Exactly. That's much deeper in our forgetting. That's much deeper in the vaults. Now, and I just want to close on this idea. I'm shocked to see that it's almost 8:30. I was like weird. But that point about how the body holds all your memories. So the body is a memory vault. Isn't that an interesting thought? There's a book that a psychologist who specializes in trauma wrote that I read that's called "The Body Keeps the Score," and it's true. It's like the body holds all the memories, and what memories does the body hold? It holds the memories of guilt. It holds the memory of pain. So
And of pleasure.
and of pleasures.
Your wedding day.
That's right, exactly. So the body is just, the body just is like, it's like you are the one who goes to the memory vault called the body and go, I'd like to pull up a memory of pain. Oh, today I'd like to pull up a memory of pleasure. And the body goes, order up. Order up. As you wish. No, so it's interesting that the body, which is purposeless within itself, holds all your memories and all your hopes. Okay, so in other words, you are calling forth from the body vault of memories what you want to remember in that moment. Isn't that an interesting concept? It's like, body, I would like to access the memory of some pain. And then the body goes, so that now, whenever you go into that situation like you've been to in the past, now your stomach hurts. Or now when you think about that person, you get a migraine. So the body is just, accessing for, is holding the memories that you want to keep. Wow. In your purpose of being a body. All right. So I just wanted to just highlight that thought, just a little seed thought in there, is that to think about when your body is manifesting symptoms. Everything you're experiencing in your body is a symptom of a memory. Isn't that interesting? A memory essentially of your belief that you're guilty. But you are the one who is calling forth the memories from the body that order up in the form of the symptoms you are experiencing. So, so we want to start questioning our symptoms. What symptom is this making me think of from the past? When I have this symptom, like where is it coming from? So something to think about. Okay, so we're going to stop here. Any questions or comments before we do our integration meditation? Yes.
Just real quickly, when Christian Science was getting going in the early 1900s,
That's right.
and then Course in Miracles didn't come about until the early 60s, but were the Christian Scientists kind of on the right path?
Yes, I do think that the Christian Scientists were on the path, and they were informed from the mystery schools, who also were, were on the right path, of what is the truth. And the right path that they were on is that we are spiritual beings, and that we are not our bodies, and that we don't die, and that our minds are very powerful, and that our minds are manifesting our experience, which means our minds are generating the dream that we are dreaming, which means our minds are generating our experience. They were on the right track in that they were coming to understand that the body is in the mind instead of the mind being in the body. So, and they were realizing that, we are eternal beings, so.
So it seems like being on that kind of path for that long, that it would be a nice combination of them and Course in Miracles. But
Yeah.
that's not really
It's
what's happening, is it?
What's not happening?
Well, that they just combine forces.
That it would have converged with the Course.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
my experience, you're talking about like Mile High Church Centers for Spiritual
Yeah.
Living.
Well, that's religious science, and I always call it, people say, where the church you go to? Oh, religious science, what's that? Watered down Christian science. If you're not enlightened enough, get your surgery.
Right.
Or go take your medicine.
Right.
And then come back and get enlightened.
Right.
So they kind of soft-pedaled it, which, yeah.
Yeah, well, each path, each religion, each philosophy goes as far as it can on the path to truth. And Course in Miracles, is a philosophy, is a curriculum, a teaching that has gone even farther on that path, but stay on the path. It all leads to the same place. You're not guilty, you're not a body, and you can't die. And who you really are can't be hurt. That's the path that we're on. That's the path that we go as far as we can go in our learning, and then we seem to experience death, and then we come back and we get back on the path, and we go as far along as we can go that time, and then we come back and we get back on the path and go further still. So, but this is the path. This is the Course in Miracles says this is the universal curriculum, and the universal curriculum has many forms, many paths, but it's a universal course, and the universal course is you are not guilty. There is no sin. You are not a body. You cannot be hurt, and you cannot die. That's the universal curriculum. All right. Okay. So let's do just about 2 minutes of an integration meditation, just to allow these ideas to kind of sink in and integrate. So I want you to just breathe for a moment. Just notice how you feel. Tune your awareness inward and upward. How does it feel to hear the truth about yourself? Not being guilty, not being a body that can be hurt and dies. How does it feel to hear the truth about you? Breathe that feeling in. Enjoy this feeling. Beautiful. Now let's do just a little bit of some practical application here. I want you to bring to your awareness a place in your life right now where you are either experiencing pain, or you are experiencing an addiction or a compulsion to a pleasure that doesn't last. that then results in more pain. Where is it in your life where you are experiencing that? Beautiful. Now, let's practice what we heard, and let us tell ourselves this pain or this addiction to pleasures that don't last is a witness to my continuing belief that I am guilty, that sin is real. What I am experiencing here in this pain or this addiction to pleasures that don't last is a symptom of my false belief in sin, that I am guilty because of something related to my body. I want you to imagine the pain or the addiction, compulsion to pleasures that don't last. I want you to imagine them outside of you, and I want you to look at them and go, these are witnesses. They're just, this pain that I'm experiencing is just a witness. This addiction and compulsion to pleasures that don't last is just a witness that's trying to convince me that I am here in this body, I am this body, and that I can be hurt and that I can die. Tell yourself, these witnesses are liars. They are false witnesses. They do not speak truth about me to me. And now, let me turn to the stately calm within me and ask my loving right mind, my higher self, the voice for God within me, what is the truth about me? What is the truth about me? Spirit, what is the truth about me? Am I just a body that can be hurt and die? Am I really guilty? And listen. Listen to the voice of love within you, who knows who and what you are as spirit, as innocent, as guiltless. We're practicing stopping listening to the witnesses that lie, that say we're just a body that can be hurt and die. And we're learning how to listen to the voice of truth within us, who knows that we are guiltless now and forever, and that we are a spirit that doesn't die. This is what we're learning to do in response to pain and compulsions and addictions to pleasures that don't last. This is how we set ourselves free from suffering in whatever form it takes. Tell yourself, this suffering is proof of my self-deception about who and what I am. God, you created me. What am I? I just heard, you are my beloved child in whom I am well pleased. Beautiful. And just take another deep breath. Begin to bring your awareness back to the room, back to your body. All right. Thank you guys for joining on Facebook or YouTube. Thank you guys for coming out in person to the Miracle Center. I really appreciate it. I really do. And the Miracle Center appreciates it too. This was a humdinger. Well, all right. That's what I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it the Humdinger class. All right. Appreciate you guys. Hi, Rebecca. Lovely to see you. Hi, Irene. Love you guys.